can do genetic testing in the womb. If somebody's got a physical condition, and that physical condition means that it can be tested through testing the mother and the child's DNA, or the father's DNA, whoever's passing it on. No, you don't pass on alcoholism. It comes with trauma. What you can have is genetic curses. Generational curses is something that is existing and true. You can have family members that... I got a hat. I got my son's hat here. This is my son. My son Liam came to stay and left a hat. So let's put... Oh, seriously, I don't like these ones. Let's go all funky chicky dude. Yeah. I got the most fuzziest hair ever. That is the most weirdest hat. I don't like these flat cap hats. But I can't stand the fact that I don't really get up and dressed and showered and get my clothes on and get out and get dressed. And I'm sure there's many of us like that who've been through lockdown, where after a while you just get into a, oh, I just throw my baggy clothes on, or oh, I just get my leggings. And also it reminds me of what I'm trying to achieve as well. So it's just easier when you're always cleaning and picking things up and tidying up and stuff. You stop wearing nice things because it's just pointless. Women who wear nice dresses have cleaners. Women with nice nails have cleaners. Women with immaculate hair can afford to go to the hairdressers and pay that level of thing, or have really good friends. Me, I'm waiting for my son. I don't want to be disloyal to my son, who soon graduates, and I want him to be able to do a really great before and after photograph of his mum's hair as he qualifies. So that's why it's like this, and I'm going to let him make the decision whether I go grey naturally or whether I completely fucking dye it. And that is my graduation present to him. I let him cut my hair when he first made the decision to go and do this, so I'm now leaving it for him to graduate, do what he does, and come, and mummy gets a freebie. That'd be awesome. I wonder if he just charges me family rates. Would my son charge me to cut his hair once he's qualified? Do qualified hairdressers want to cut their family's hair? Because by the time you've cut your family and your friend's hair, and then you start going and charging the public, have you actually got time? And should you cut your family's hair first and then give your gifts away? Or should you get paid and pay for your mum to get your hair cut? Or should mum go without while you sort everybody else's out? And this is the problem with the world, isn't it? Basic fundamental families and beliefs. At the end of the day, this letter... yes, darling, yes. Oh, thirsty boy. Okie dokie. Well, mind you, it is a smaller cup. You've got that massive big thing, haven't you? Good, 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 good. Thirsty boys, thirsty boys. We are made of water. So a lot of conditions come from not having enough water to replenish. So my chapter of my life at the moment is predominantly going to be around my health, because I'm like 43 next week or the week after. I'm 43 soon, 17th of May. Unfortunately, I'm not bloody paid until the 18th. So, and then I haven't even actually got funding for birthday. I definitely for my birthday want to do this roller skate thing over the hill. I'm going to maybe write to my mummy and ask if my mummy will buy me these roller skates that I really desperately want to be able to do this with. And maybe mummy might say okay, and maybe mummy might say no, you're an absolute idiot and you shouldn't be doing this in the first place, you're too old. And maybe she cares, maybe she doesn't, who knows. But they're off this weekend. I've got the boys going off to my mum's to stay over to go off and have their activities and their day out, which I'm looking forward to. I've got social coming on Wednesday, but that puts me under so much pressure to have to work to a different schedule and a different time frame. You know, if they were coming around and they were going, oh, I'll tell you what, Kelly, there's two of us now, so one of us is going to do your washing up, one of us is going to do this, one of us is going to do that. Could you imagine if you had COVID? Just use COVID. I'll keep using COVID as an example. Say a mother gets COVID, TB, gets COVID and hasn't got a certificate of vaccination identification, and she can't get, her children haven't got COVID, and she's got to take them to nursery or school or to their clubs or their activities, but she's been quarantined. Where's the gap? How does she do this? So the children would go out the door. Would you remove the children? So while the mother has COVID, would you remove the children to prevent them from having COVID? Or would you keep them in the house and work as a family, that if mum's got it, everybody looks after mum, if you get it, blah, 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 blah. So where is this gap? Doesn't matter if it's a physical condition, doesn't matter if it's mental health. The only time, I've been reading the books, Hands Don't Hit. We're dealing with a whole world of just breakdown of communication and lack of education, lack of health core. My boys have come onto the spectrum where they're saying that his Beighton score is 5, he is hypermobile in his fingers, wrists, he can bend over with hands on his floor, but he's not hypermobile in his knees, elbows, just like mum. So now they've got to do all the referrals, but they're not willing to pay for the genetics, so they want to send us to the specialists to pay for the genetics, but it's going to cost them more because it's private. So I've now got to gather every person who's ever qualified or experienced in EDS and talk to them, because it is pointless me talking to anybody who doesn't understand that while I am walking around my kitchen right now, my knees are moving like this. My knee is in, out, shake it all about, I'll show you. And sometimes when I walk down the road, I walk like a fucking duck and I look like I'm pissed, because sometimes my legs sort of wobble or go, and my left hip does the same as my knee. So my left hip, which is this, all traps in and goes in. So when I'm walking, especially when I'm dancing, that's why I like doing it, because it pops it. But the problem that I'm having is when the joints are going back in, take it back to the elastic bands that I had, wherever my elastic band's now gone. I don't know where my elastic band's gone. There it is. So basically, whenever the joints, so take my knees, so slide in. So every time it's doing that, it's going over muscle, it's going over grinding against the bones, it's damaging the cartilage, and it's damaging the nerves and all of the things that are like this. Blood vessels, sitting on blood vessels. This is like your bowel. Your bowel, yeah, when you go to the toilet, your body inside spasms to allow for your food to go around. It allows for your shite to go through. Ours doesn't do that. We are so floppy galoppy that ours is just a bit like this and goes riggedy, 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 and we don't have that doomph, thump, thump. Just like we don't have it to the blood vessels, like we don't have it. Hence why my throat goes, yeah, and my jaw, and all of it just sits together, because my tendons, so let's use this as my tendons, every single one of you has tendons in your joints. Mine are these, tendons in our neck, tendons in our shoulder, tendons holding our knees together, tendons in here, tendons all the way around, tendons literally all the way around your body. I'm messing my food up now. My multitasking skills and things are not very great as somebody diagnosed with Asperger's. I have to focus on one project at hand, or I get distracted, and doing this sort of teaches me to multitask a little bit more. But if, say, I was cooking and then the kids called me, my kids are actually pretty good at it, at sort of reminding me that, you know, I was cooking and to go back to the cooking. But me as a whole, sometimes I'm so distracted with pain, my body's going, ow, 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 ooh, ow, ooh, that hurt, ooh. And it's talking to me like that all the time. Or, oof, that aches, oh, that aches, or, oof. And that's sort of the language going on within my whole body, and it's a bit annoying. And then you're having to deal with people constantly asking you what's going on in your body and blah, 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 blah. And it's just draining. It's just so draining. It's just draining. It drains me. It drains everything. So anyway, I'm waffling and I'm making some food. I need to tidy up and I need to get back to these activities. But what I don't like about social care is it alienates you. It alienates you from proper relationships. It pisses your family off. They should be like your best friends. You know, they should be like... Ooh, what else can I put in? Oh, I like getting carried away when I'm cooking. Oh, I do. I love getting carried away cooking. When I'm feeling like it. One of the first things that goes whenever you're dealing with depression, suicide, just feeling low, feeling shitty, I mean, the first thing to go is your appetite, your sexual desires. And, you know, when I feel like throwing things in and cooking, it's great, and I love it, and I love being at home. I prefer being at home. I'd rather be in a bigger home. I find the world quite, for any person who hasn't really had any sense of the world and has been battling what I've been battling, you don't tend to fit in the world, so to say. You know, most of the people can run faster than I can. Anything that I want to do, people can do it without worrying about their health. You know, they don't have the children, they have grandparents. Yes, darling. Oh, I can see you through the things. Where's your arms gone? So even turning my neck to look through the... Yeah, this is what I said in the last flat. I could just do with a window through to the room that the boys play for with when I'm in the kitchen. And ideally I have that, and that's what I've asked for. But I need to get very clearer about where my challenges are, what I need from people around me. And basically just paying people, because I get so annoyed when I explain something. Like I said to Amber, can you take a load of photographs of people, families, like predominantly men, for husbands getting involved, of fundraising for EDS UK. Like, can you see my hands as I'm cutting? Can you just see this? Look. Can you see my thumb? Yeah, so that's me holding a pepper. So if I take it to that angle, I don't know what you can see, but can you see my thumb, how on my sleeve? That is just me literally holding a pepper. That's my thumb. So, and that's my fingers trying to hold in there. So I could actually have a thumb splint that, oh, I can't even get it out, that held my thumb there, yeah, and it would stop that. So can you see that? Hang on, this is really important that this has happened, because this is what I'm trying to explain to people and they don't get it, okay? So watch my thumb again, right? So when my children are writing, yeah, so there, look. So I'm holding the pepper, push. So your thumbs would hold like that. Yours wouldn't do this. So I've already got it in my wrist here. Again, there you go. So that's me holding the pepper. Yeah, so in order to cut that pepper, I'll do it with you. I haven't got my spacker knife, okay? I can't find it. I've got a spastic knife. So can you see my wrist now trying to hold that pepper? Yeah, that's just me trying to hold a pepper. And this is where you see how much of a spastic I am. Okay, now when I'm holding a steering wheel, I'm actually the same. When I hold a steering wheel, I hold a steering wheel like this. Yeah, so when I'm driving, I have my hand backwards and I move like this. Sometimes I feel like one of them, what is it, what is them, praying mantis, them flies when they're coming out of a cocoon. So if you can imagine my hands and my wrists, yeah, I'll do it for you, push them into pressure. So if you can imagine me coming out and going, yeah, what you got to remember is I'll have to tell my body, right, ready, I'm stuck. I am now officially stuck. So I have to now tell my hands, watch. Yeah, so I want a camera, but I need a camera. Plaiting my hair, cutting my hair. My hands start fizzing and I start going, yeah. I would actually have seizures if I allowed it to happen, but I don't actually allow it to happen. I have it under control. So anyway, even just to cut, you can see how my fingers are pressing down. My screen's not very good, but I have to press down, very different, and hold. If you see me holding this, yeah, I can't hold it properly. My hand should be there. That should be there, yeah? And keep that just to give me a bit of a hand. There's all these things that I can be using, but they're so fucking expensive. And I had them all. I had them all. I had it all. It all. It took me years, but I had it all. I had it all. And then them bastards, when they took my kids, yeah, they even got my car seats. My car seats were for free from Britax, right? I wrote to Britax to say that I was struggling to get Aaron and Faith out of the car seat. Like, this is too low for me as well. I should be here. So I'm doing this to the camera, but I mean, I can still, you know, the camera's probably more doing that actually. But that's my knees. Now I'm not bending my knees. When I'm standing up, my knees are pressing back. I can probably even show you. Now my knees don't go back like a lot of people, but my knees shouldn't go back like that. Yeah? So my leg shouldn't bow in the way that it does. This is all hypermobility, EDS spectrum, whatever you want to call it. Asperger's doesn't exist anymore now, so if you're diagnosed with Asperger's, you don't have Asperger's now, you're autistic. It's all to do with funding, it's all to do with money. I want to go and see somebody and find out exactly what I'm dealing with. I'm not interested in what's on the box. I'm not interested in what is the percent of some people. I want to know exactly what I am dealing with, exactly what my challenges are, exactly what problems I'm having. Now, I know that as soon as I have the upright MRI, they will confirm that I have cranial instability. So as you can see, all this, imagine that in there. So imagine that going on in the back of my neck.